Today we're going to create a grid list. This is a continuation of our Firebase app that we're creating, our food app. So when we press this, we go to a new component called food form. So let's go here. And I added the food form to our stack navigator here. If you don't know what this is, you can go look at my video on React navigation. So we're going from the food list to the food form. So let's go to our food form screen that I created. Right now it's just a text input and a button. So we have our text input button. I have a bunch of styles here for the row, the container, and the form input. We want to add something called a grid list, in my case. UI, new file, I'm gonna call it grid list. And this will be just a basic stateless component. Import all of our usual things. And we're gonna use a FlatList for our grid. So we're not gonna use any library for this. So from React Native, and then we could do constant grid list equals, we're gonna pass in props here. We're going to return, and we're gonna use FlatList. Oops, this should be like this. Do this. So in our FlatList, we have something called number of columns. So this specifies how many columns our grid list will have. So we're gonna say that it is 3. We're gonna pass in data. It'll be props dot, let's call it items. And we have our, we have our key extractor. You'll get used to using the key extractor with your list. Index dot. And then we're going to do render item. We'll render an item. First we'll log it here, console.log. Let's return a text style equals styles.item. And we'll pass in the item. We need that then. And at the end here, we're gonna do text, and we're just gonna type in ingredients here. So I'm gonna create some styles now for these. I'm just going to speed the video up. Okay, so we have our styles here. I'm gonna add a style to our FlatList here. So for the FlatList, it's better to use a property called content container style instead of style. Styles.grid. So this would be our grid style here, and let's save this. And now we can go back to our food list, import grid list, and then we want to add the grid list to our food form screen here. Okay, UI grid list. And we want to put the grid list, let's put it above this. So we need to pass something to here. We need to pass our items because we're using props.items in our grid list. This.state sub ingredient. So let's save this. So dismiss, we go here. Oh, we're typing ingredients twice. So let's add something like cheese and press add. And you can see cheese is here. Now let's do meat. So let's keep adding these here. And you can see that this is grid here, but the style is not actually set. So let's go to our style. Okay, style, that's why. Okay, so let's do this. And now our styles are applied. So now when we add new items here, we can do shell. So as you can see, this is a scroll view too. So as we add more things here, it's scrolling. It lets you scroll up because we have our height set to a certain amount. If we remove the height here, then you'll see that it just takes up the amount of screen that the items do. So we can keep adding more things here. And you can see it gets pushed down, the ingredients gets pushed down. Yeah, this is a nice, easy grid UI using only a FlatList in React Native. So we'll be using this again in our Firebase React Native series. I hope this helps you get started with creating grids in React Native. There's a lot more that you can do with this, but this is the basic setup. Thank you. Bye.